All right, guys. So, in anticipation of Empire Total War, I've been looking at what other strategy games are out there on mobile, aside from Rome and Medieval, and I rediscovered First Strike. Now, this is a very cool, interesting risk style global game in which you take a country, you expand into various territories around you, you build up the defenses, you build up an arsenal of weaponry, missiles, cruise missiles, ICBMs, and you engage in essentially nuclear war to dominate the world. It's quite a crazy, fun, interesting, laid back game that I've really been enjoying. And just to be perfectly clear, I did first play it during COVID and a little bit after COVID as well. And since then, I've just been getting into it again. And I've been sponsored to make this video by the developers, Blind Flug Studio. So first of all, thank you to them. And that's what I'm going to do today. Basically, we're going to go into what First Strike is all about, what you can expect if you want to play it. This is free and it's available for both single player and multiplayer as well. There are plenty of interesting countries to take control of. You can be North Korea or Brazil or the USA or Western Europe or Russia. Like, there's a lot of different ways you can play the game, lots of different weaponry to get into. There are super weapons like aircraft carriers, infiltrators that take control of your country. Like, there's so much going on here compared to the last time I played this game, and I've just really been enjoying it. Yes, of course, it's not Total War, but it is just something fun to turn on, when I'm going to the city to meet up with a friend on the train, or if I'm sitting at home not doing too much and watching TV and want to just engage on my phone. This is a really fun, easy game to get into. You can find the game really easily online on multiplayer as well. And it's just incredibly just engaging. The escalation, especially online against other players, is massive, huge, as you can see. So it's been a lot of fun basically to get back into after all these years, see how it's developed, and of course, in the process, be sponsored to make this video as well. Now, of course, since the last time I played, there are a lot of new features and additions that I've really enjoyed that really increase the quality of life of the game. The first here, as you can see, is a really nice, easily laid out tutorial system. Just takes you through the various buttons that you need to know and just be familiar with, be aware of a lot. The timing of clicking these buttons to, for example, mitigate an incoming missile strike, nuclear strike. Like, there's lots here that's really good about the tutorial system. Highly recommend you get into it first. And the other side of it, of course, as you can see, is a multiplayer system. So this wasn't really around the first time I played it. Multiplayer is really fun and interesting. And what I want to get into now for the rest of the video is just kind of explain my experience of my multiplayer. I've had a few, but this is the one that I chose. I chose to play as Brazil here, which is quite unique. It's a very isolated continent. You're the only nation here as well. So just to start off with, I just started expanding into other territories, maximizing my expansion, and then as I've kind of taken over as many territories as I can, because it's so isolated, there's not a lot of other continents that you can jump onto very quickly. You just start researching, right? So I started researching various texts, going into surveillance so I can see the rest of the world, because when you start off, it's very fog of war, and then you kind of go into developing research that allows you to build multiple missiles at once. You start developing new types of missiles with IRBMs. You get ICBMs, intercontinental ballistics. You get kind of deterrent, so defense capabilities that are a bit more developed. You start making your way towards super weapons, right? And as a free version of the game, you only get a few super weapons to choose from. Just FYI, this is a free game, and this is the free version that you're seeing here right now. There is a paid version that allows you access to everything else if you wanted to do that, if you're really enjoying the game, but it's free. So I highly recommend you check it out free first. But yeah, back into what's going on here. So yeah, essentially I was Brazil. I kind of expanded into all these territories. I maximized how many missiles I could develop. I've kind of filled all my missile silos with ballistic missiles and ICBMs primarily, a bit of a defense capability. And then essentially what happens is things escalate. One of the rival nations decides to do a first strike against a different nation. This was Kazakhstan firing against Australia. Australia managed to fire off its missiles right at the last second. But as you can see here, Kazakhstan has an Iron Dome, so it didn't quite hit. And then I tried to take the opportunity to strike at the US, and I think I got a few hits here, actually. Let's see, have a look. Yeah, I took out that entire area, but as you can see, the US did a first strike as well. So they took out a bunch of my territory on the northern side. Massive, massive radiation. It kind of takes out the entire territory, essentially. You need a specific research type to be able to expand back into territory like that. And then you've got, more strikes going on. I was basically, as Brazil, I had no chance against the USA. So, because certain countries start with different types of research already unlocked, and Brazil doesn't really have any of them unlocked, or only like one or two. So it's quite difficult early on. You have to do a lot to get that research. And the US is expanding really quickly there. I'm just too slow trying to expand back into the territory I've lost here. And eventually, what happens is multiple countries start attacking me all at once. So what's happening here is I managed to expand into all my territory, actually. I got it back, and then another country sent this satellite to my capital city. You can see it there, that red satellite, and that takes over all of your controls. So suddenly you can't build anything. Suddenly, your capital city is sending a missile at its own territory, so it's a bit kind of wild and zombified, a bit mindless. You can't do anything about it. That satellite is a super weapon that you can unlock and use and control another nation's arsenal, basically, and do whatever you want with it. So essentially, I went back to the drawing board. I lost that game really, really quickly, and I decided, okay, we'll go back into the tutorial. We'll actually win a few more of these, get a grasp for how the mechanics work a bit better, how to maximize efficiencies, unlocking other kind of countries and super weapons, etc. And all that really helped me just get a better grasp for how to maybe fight some online players a bit better as well. Check out some of the other countries and what they're capable of, and maybe pivot on my play style, kind of try and up the challenge as well, and try some new super weapons against other enemies. Like that has been a much better kind of experience for me as well this time around versus a few years ago. It's just much more accessible, easy to kind of get a grasp for. The learning curve is much easier. There's a lot more kind of choice here as well. And while I'm playing the free version, I imagine the paid version is quite fun as well. Even though I haven't gotten access to the paid version, I'm sure there's a lot more kind of super weapons wise, etc., that are quite easy and fun to get into as well. If you're willing to get into that, if you enjoy the game, etc. So yeah, that's essentially it for today, guys. First Strike is available for free on iOS, Android, and PC on Steam. So there are links below in the video description for you to check out. Buy or not buy. It is a free game. Go and check it out for free. All the links are down below in the video description. Make sure to click through there to check it out for free. All that helps the channel and helps the performance of this sponsorship as well. All that is really, really cool. And this is a sponsorship. I'm being paid to make this video, but I just want to make this super clear. I've been playing First Strike on and off for a few years now. So it's been really cool and interesting. You get all these sponsorship requests and emails and everything, but this one came through and I was just like, hey, I've actually played this video. It's quite fun. So it's fun to get back into it, to check it out. It's free. There's some really cool, interesting features and capabilities that weren't here when the game first released a few years ago. So I've really, really enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this kind of video, this kind of sponsored video as well. As I said, if you do like what you see, get into the video description, check out the links for yourself. Check it out for free. It is a free game. And if you enjoyed enough and you want to play more of it and check out its other countries and super weapons, you can pay for the price. I think it's $4.99 in pounds, which is cheaper than the Total War games, and check the outside of the game out as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe for more videos just like this if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.